I write Matty Taylor. I can see him getting his car. I've decided to go to Bolt. I'm waving him going out the car park.
Just love moving teams, and then you have to do an initiation.
They just don't seem to be able to get deals over the line.
Right, it is time for the final deal or no deal of this transfer window, because it closes tonight. We're going to start with some good news though. Evan Ferguson's injury not as bad as it might have been.
Yeah, that's what the Athletic are reporting. And yeah, there was a few rumours going around last night that he was chatting to a few of his teammates who were at the reserve game. There's obviously a lot of Irish players at the club now, so it doesn't look like it's too bad. And then you've got the other news on top of that from the PGMOL saying that Fabinho should have been sent off, which, I mean, we all knew that as soon as it happened.
Cheers, lads. Yeah, thanks.
I think it was interesting though, like listening to Lauro yesterday, who was saying that, like, essentially that VAR likes the referees to referee, but the referee is like, oh, if I miss this, VAR will get it for me, so it doesn't really matter. And then you fall between the two stools, and it's like, well, somebody just needs to, like, how are we doing this today?
Yeah.
I'm going to do everything, and if I'm going to ref as I see it, you overrule me. And my ego is not going to be, oh, I've changed my mind. My ego will be like, we got the right decision.
Yeah. That's the way, that's the common sense approach that should be used. And yeah, you hit the nail on the head there when you talked about egos, and the on-field referee might miss something.
Yeah.
Just could be at a bad angle. You mightn't see something from, and then obviously if you have the benefit of 6 or 7 replays, all you would have needed is one replay.
Well, Laura was saying yesterday he's a mate of Neil Swarbrick, who was the VAR official, and he said he just wanted to let the referees referee. But sure, referees are fallible. They're human beings. They can make mistakes. So the VAR official, he should have been sent to the monitor to view it at the very least a second time.
Absolutely.
And then he would have given the red card, you'd imagine.
100% would have given the red card.
What's the point?
So. You hope so. I mean, it definitely, like,
it's a shocking tackle.
Yeah, not great. Okay, so we don't know what that means. Like Nathan was saying, that there was a fear that it could have even been an ACL.
Yeah.
So not as bad as it might have been. Is like, we're still.
Yeah, let's wait till we hear Roberto De Zerbi say Evan Ferguson will be back.
Yeah.
In this time,
because obviously the France game is looming large.
Yeah.
And he was definitely playing. He was definitely starting that game.
Well,
he is currently our best and most informed player.
Yeah. And
is there anybody else in this good form as him at the moment?
We get very excited when we have young players that start in the Premier League. So he ticked that box, but then he started scoring. So
yeah.
And like that goal.
Steady on here, Evan.
I don't know
our
how many
heart's not going to
times
be able to take this.
That goal against Leicester, the header. I kept watching it back on
what a header.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Jesus.
I even watching him the other day, when I turned on the game the other day, and he's standing there in the tunnel, and you're just looking at him going, this guy's 18, but look at the size of
presence. Yeah.
The French don't know what.
He's 6'2". Is he 6'2", 6'1" maybe?
Somebody, Adrian was asking last night, is he only 6 foot? And David played golf with him recently enough. And that's
he was looking up at me.
That might never happen.
Yeah.
He was looking up at you.
He was. Yeah. He was like this.
Was he sitting down or something?
He is a big lad, but you know this whole. You know, there are taller players than him in the Brighton team, for example. Yeah. He's the big lad up front.
Luke Shaw, there's this theory that Luke Shaw's over 6 foot. So I need to see when Brighton play United, Luke Shaw standing beside Evan Ferguson. Let's see what happens.
Okay, some Irish transfers. Katie McCabe has been linked with Chelsea. She still has 18 months left on her current contract. Arsenal have said this is not going to happen.
No.
They haven't spoken to her about it. Now, that's what you would say if you were trying to drive the price up at the last minute.
Well, Emma Hayes as well, the Chelsea manager, said we won't be doing any deals before the end of the... So everybody is saying the right thing.
In the meantime, though, Arsenal are being linked with spending loads of money on Man United's best player. So there might be a swing.
I know, yeah. When I saw that, the world record bid for Alessia Russo, who's out of contract in the summer and has been linked with a move to Arsenal
Her
before.
contract negotiations have been going on for an absolute era at Old Trafford.
Yeah, and it's strange when United are on the up. They're top of the WSL at the moment. There's a good title race there at the moment. Arsenal are 3 points behind United and Chelsea. So United ahead of Chelsea in goal difference. Arsenal have a game in hand, but we're only at the halfway stage. Now, Chelsea are the ones that tend to get the job done, as they did last season on the final day. So,
well, she's apparently a Chelsea fan, Katie McCabe. Does that have an impact?
I don't know. But look, from an Irish point of view, Katie McCabe is an elite footballer. Obviously, it's a massive year for for the Irish women's team. The great news as well that the opening game is going to have more than 80,000 on it, which is just unbelievable. And we just want Katie McCabe to be playing. She plays week in, week out for Arsenal. Strangely enough, actually, she was left on the bench. She came on against Chelsea. She didn't start that game, which was very strange, considering she starts all the time.
Yeah. Rihanna Jarrett has left London City Lionesses by mutual consent. Is there a possibility she ends up back here?
Well, she said she wants to come home and start enjoying her football again. So obviously her links are Wexford. She had a very good spell with Wexford, which got her move across. She's had awful problems with injuries, 3 ACL injuries. I mean, it's incredible that she keeps bouncing back. So a lot of people would think, right, Ireland International coming back to Ireland. There's a new club that are signing Irish internationals.
They're signing everyone, sure.
Rovers is a possibility.
Who knows? But
okay, we'll wait and see.
As I said, the important thing for Rihanna is to get back playing football and, as she said, enjoying her football.
Yeah, and obviously available now. So, to the Premier League, Anthony Gordon to Newcastle is confirmed. How good a deal is this for everybody?
It's a great deal for Anthony Gordon. He gets out of a relegation scrap. He goes to a club that are on the up, are just going to keep getting better. They're in the mix for a Champions League spot. And there's definitely a place in that team for him because, like, I look at someone like Joe Willock who plays on the left-hand side. Anthony Gordon could be looking at him thinking, yeah, I can take his place. He could play on the right as well. So it's up to him now. Eddie Howe has done such a good job since he's come in, and he's trying to build a bit of depth, but he also, because they're doing so well, that if players sign for the club and they're not up to it or their attitude is wrong, they're shipped out.
Yeah.
Now, one thing he's going to learn is that they're probably getting good wages now, so it might be hard to move some players on because they see Newcastle and they think, right, if I can get in there, I'm set for life.
Absolutely. So it's a big challenge to him to try and get in that team. He seems to be capable of performing at a level to get into the team.
Yeah.
And Eddie Howe so far has been managing those careers generally really well. So maybe it's a great move, but it's not nailed on, is it?
No, it's hard to tell because he's had such a short window in terms of what we've seen of him at Everton, and this is an Everton team that weren't going well and haven't been going well, but he has caught the eye. Lampard then started leaving him out towards the end of his tenure. So, but I think of when Everton were digging out results last season, Anthony Gordon was definitely one of their better players. Richarlison was the player that got them out of trouble in my eyes anyway.
Must be nice to be leaving a team in relegation battle for a team in a League Cup semi-final and fighting for Champions League spots in Europe as well.
That's it. That's why it's a good deal for him.
100%. And it's a good day for the accountants at Everton as well, balancing the books. 45 million in for Anthony Gordon and potentially spending it straight away, 45 million for Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, I don't think he wants it.
Right.
Like we mentioned relegation scrap, he's thinking, I don't need that. He was at Palace last season. He had a really good season. He's gone back to Chelsea thinking maybe I can kick on. But unfortunately, Chelsea are just a bit of a shambles at the moment. They're signing all these players.
Yeah.
You know the way you guys do your depth charts, Graham Potter's depth chart, like he's just got so many names.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to work out what his best team is.
I actually had forgotten about Joao Felix yesterday. I mean, I remember and I remember the red card, but I was only afterwards like, oh yeah, of course, because the Mudryk stories obviously has landed himself in hot water, rightfully so, and you're like, oh, is everybody going to arrive, get a ban, miss a few games, and the squad is big enough for you not to notice?
That's it. They've such a massive squad, and obviously all eyes are going to be on them today to see can they get that Fernandes deal done.
And Jorginho, at the moment, is being linked with Arsenal, which would be a really interesting move from Arsenal's perspective to be able to sign somebody from a rival in this instance again. Now, I'm not sure Jorginho is going to play a lot of football in the starting team, is he?
No, he would be brought in as cover for Thomas Partey, and obviously Arsenal want to get the Cancelo deal done, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So then they bring in Jorginho, who, when Arteta was at City with Pep Guardiola, they looked nailed on to sign him. So obviously Arteta is fond of him, and I could see how he would work in the Arsenal team. Arsenal at the moment, the way they zip the ball around, everything would go through Jorginho. he wouldn't be as strong physically as Partey in terms of I would see him as a bit of a liability defensively if you can get at him. But at the moment, not many teams are getting at Arsenal because they own the ball. So it definitely would suit him. And I know you said that Arsenal will be getting from a rival, but right now Chelsea aren't even considered a rival for Arsenal. And he's out of contract in the summer. They have to start getting rid of players, Chelsea.
Yeah, really urgently. There is huge news coming through from Manchester City. It looks like Joao Cancelo, who we were all wondering what's happened here, one of the most important players in the team last season, perfect for that kind of, it's actually somebody who can control the game from full-back at various stages when you're in possession. Seems to have had a massive row with Pep to the point where Pep is sending him to Bayern Munich on loan for the rest of the season.
I know, and it seems...
a giant crack in the whole, everything is great, everybody loves us, everything is straightforward. It's not.
This is very much, there's nobody bigger in the team. Pep is in control, and it's something that if City don't win the league, it'll be brought up. And you think, like you mentioned, obviously his ability on the ball, he's a great finisher, but also when he plays on the left, that cross that he can just curl in. But it stems from the Chelsea game apparently, where he got taken off at half time. Pep did a Pep in the first half against Chelsea in the league game where he played Cancelo in midfield, which Cancelo was comfortable in that area of the pitch, but he was playing ahead of Kyle Walker. It didn't work. Chelsea actually had a decent first half. Then Pep says, right, I'm going to change things at half time. Cancelo, you're off, and never really recovered from that. And has been left on the bench for the last few games and is just obviously foist.
It's a big move.
Yeah, like from the reports of Sam Lee in The Athletic is saying that he sat in meetings and just looked disinterested and almost sulked, and now Pep has just said, get out of my sight. Good luck. There's also some reports in Portugal that they're talking of letting Bernardo Silva go, but that seems to always emerge.
Yeah.
And it never happens. But
links.
Yeah, this could be a great day for Arsenal.
Harry Maguire is obviously looking at the situation of some of his former centre-back colleagues and predecessors at Manchester United. They've reinvented themselves in Italy, and Inter Milan apparently made an inquiry. If I'm Harry Maguire, I'm thinking, Inter Milan's not a bad team, I can get out of here. And if you're Man United, are you thinking, yeah, let's do this,
on you go.
This year is over, the banter bus here at Manchester United is done, away we go.
Absolutely. And it looks like Skriniar is leaving Inter to go to PSG, and it goes back to something that we've talked about before. When you're looking to sign for a club, find out what exactly the way they play, what formations they play. They tend to play three at the back, so Maguire could be one of three, which would suit him. And Chris Smalling is the example of somebody that left Manchester United, went to Roma, has made over 100 appearances for Roma. Actually
fluent in Italian as well.
Yeah, I like the thoughts of Harry Maguire in a couple of years given a passionate
Italian
post-match interview in Italian.
Oh yeah,
after scoring an important goal in the derby to keep Inter top of Serie A.
Do you know who else I'd love to hear speaking Italian soon is Phil Jones.
Yeah,
get him out the gap. That man's making £75,000 a week.
You can't be. That's not his fault. That is not his fault. He's entitled to every single penny of that. He should sit it out. Get
rid of him.
No, but it's Man United's fault.
And look, that's
Man United's fault. They gave him the contract. Why shouldn't he take that money? That money's his. He's earned it.
His contract will be up soon enough. But Jesus, he's not the quotes from Ten Hag this week. He says the whole season he's been injured. What I can say, he's not available for training. Hasn't been since the first day of training this season. Then the opportunity that you recover quickly also goes. Bit of a dig,
Yeah, but look, these are the problems Ten Hag has inherited, but he's handling them very well.
Yeah, it's not his fault, of course.
So no, absolutely, and Phil Jones will be gone soon enough. And
who takes him?
But in terms of Harry Maguire, it would be a good move for him. As Inter are, look, they're second in Serie A at the moment.
Yeah,
Napoli are going to walk the league.
Inter is a totally acceptable get out of Manchester United because there's not that many situations you can go to where people aren't looking at him going, whoa, what are you if all around England.
Kind of the limelight as well. But I wonder though, what does it do for his England career? Because in fairness to Gareth Southgate, he has stood by Harry Maguire. I think he had an okay World Cup.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that maybe if England want to actually go about winning the tournament, they need a bit more from that position.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know if it's there though. I don't know if they actually have the centre halves at the moment.
You need to develop some of them.
I mean, people are talking about Tomori, but AC Milan at the moment are leaking goals.
Beaten 5-2 or 6-2 by Sassuolo at home at the weekend.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Lost 4-0 to Lazio last week. Lost 3-0 to Inter in the Super Cup.
That is one of those where you're going, I mean, wow.
But if he goes to Inter, he's going to be part of a team that challenges for the title. I know Napoli are
Plays
going to
Champions
walk.
League football all the time.
Yeah, and Napoli are going to walk it. But the problem is, and it kind of the general thing we're going to see today is the stupid amount of money that's in the Premier League compared to the rest of Europe, where that Napoli team are a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And the worry is at the end of the season, they're going to be absolutely raided. Like the likes of Osimhen, gone. Kvaratskhelia, gone.
Maybe because they win the league, they'll be able to keep them in a way that previous generations haven't. We'll wait and see. Anything else? Anything left field that you might expect to happen today that isn't on the list of stuff?
No, I think there's going to be, obviously, it's going to be loan deals. I'll be keeping an eye on Everton. Obviously, you mentioned they have to sign a few players.
There's loads of good value to be had raiding Chelsea's reserve team at the moment. That if you were a team kind of in that 6 to 10 and you get Conor Gallagher, that's good. Like,
absolutely. I think with Gallagher, we haven't seen enough of him to suggest that he is
Champions League level.
Yeah, but
definitely
we haven't seen enough of him yet playing in a functional team that is at that level.
Okay, all right. 9:38 this morning. Jody Moylan says, on the Cantona debate, he was my favourite player as a youth, bar none, but it's actually true that he never did it in Europe. Iconic, cool as fuck, but not truly great. Better than Beckham though. Mark C says Wales is a tough game this weekend, and Brian Griffin wants to know, will Owen Sheehan be dialing in live from South America at some stage this week to rile up the Welsh ahead of Saturday? We'll put the request out to see if he can record us a now message from the 17th story of the Bogota nightclub he's in.
Chatting to Owen last week on text, he was thanking me for correcting Tommy Rooney's pronunciation. So Tommy came on the Power Rankings last week, just to call him out here, and he said Owen had been on his way to a nightclub in Medellin. But of course it was Medellin that day, Tommy. But that's the King's Court kind of pronunciation.
Sorry, I subsequently had a text from Owen to say you had also butchered it. You with your...
I had butchered it?
You with your colonial Spanish...
Medellin. What way do you want to say it?
Medellin.
Right.
He said mine was perfect.
Here. Well, Tommy's was the worst of the three.
But you're also wrong. Again.
Well, Medellin is a better effort than Medellin, isn't it?
Take the L. No, because...
Medellin, hey!
Oh, well, sorry. That's like, the colonial superpower gets to decide the name of the town they arrive in. Do they, Shane?
No.
Bay?
No.
Have you seen translations? Right, OTB AM brought to you live each morning by Gillette Labs for an effortless finish to your day. Medellin.